I have someone, his name is Mr. Osai. Mr. Osai, how are you doing?
I'm very good, my dear brother.
Yes, sir.
It's my
So
pleasure meeting you.
today we're going to be asking you some questions, and please, we need your honest response because it's something that's bothering a lot of youth going out there. So it's about education. What do you think about education? Do you think education is very important?
Well, the importance of education cannot be measured.
Okay.
Education is very, very important because that's what opens your inner mindset.
Okay.
It exposes you to a lot of knowledge, experience,
Okay.
and skills.
Okay.
So, bringing it to the Nigerian setting and in Africa as a whole, so to say, you see that there have been an error in our system of education simply because it comes from the curriculum. And I think that is one of the major problems why Africa is not developing because when you look at the kind of curriculum being practiced by the Western, you see that it's more or less skill-based education. Why in our own situation here, we practice a kind of which is certificate. Let me use that simple word.
Certificate based.
Yeah. In other words, we try to read a lot of courses like psychology, philosophy, and most times you see that this things has no significant relationship to what you are going to meet in the society tomorrow.
Okay.
Then at the end of the day, to change the whole thing is the best option because I will tell you that our system of education is not working. Because if it is working, you will see the impact it has made. But from every point of view, everything is down, meaning that our system of education is not working, and it's from the curriculum. So in this regard, our curriculum needs to be changed. Our curriculum needs to be redesigned or restructured in a way that is going to be skill-based education. So that at the end of the day, almost entire people that must have gone to school will be gainfully employed. That's why today talk about unemployment and all whatnot. It's simply because of the nature of the curriculum we are using today. So I am of the view that the curriculum or the system of education in Africa, besides living in Nigeria, is not working because a place you come, you meet high number of or high level of poverty, you meet people in abject poverty in a higher number. Man, the system of education is something else. It's not working. If it is working, there should have been a difference. So it's not working.
Wow.
I'm of the view, let our curriculum be redesigned to a workable curriculum that youth will be gainfully employed.
So you're not of the opinion that school is scam, but you just believe that the system should be changed.
School is not a scam. School is okay. It depends on the curriculum you bring about to the people. When you bring a wrong curriculum to the people, it looks as if school is a scam. It's not a scam because when you talk about the Western world, their children today, they are in the lab. Carrying out a lot of experiences and all, experiments and all whatnot, So you can see that these are the way they have channeled their curriculum, so that at the end of the day, these students, at the end of the day, this set of people will be developed into skill-based education, which is working for them. Then we should also channel our curriculum towards that direction, so that we can move a little bit up. Thank you.
So something is going on recently, and I want to make reference to some of them. So we've already established the fact that school is not scam, and there's importance for us to go to school. So what do we have to say about a lot of persons that are successful? Like people like Femi Otedola, people like even Bill Gates that they dropped out from school. What do you have to say? Are we saying now that our chances of making it in life is being reduced when we don't go to school? But if we are going to make that point as a strong case, then what do we have to say about those persons that didn't go to school but are still successful? What happened to them? What do you think happened to them, their mindset? What do you think happened to them?
Yeah, one thing with the school is that, let me put it that school is additional wisdom, because during my days in the university, we talk about intrinsic education, we talk about extrinsic.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that is to tell you that by the time a man is born, though psychology will say is born tabula rasa, but at the end of the day, this part of philosophy is telling us that there are certain level of education under the extrinsic that most times or all the times our forefathers has acquired. They can show you a farm boundary or a land boundary. There are so many things they can teach you, but they didn't go to school. In other words, wisdom is always inside a human being. Knowledge is always inside a human being. But by the time you must have gone to school, you see that those things develop more higher based on the way it should have been. In other words, somebody who must not have gone to school should not lose hope, or should feel like his own has ended and things like no. One of the reasons why the person shouldn't do that is because somebody like Bill Gates is a dropout. I think I'm right.
Yes.
Good and fine. Now, what made him to succeed is a kind of passion, a kind of ambition. Whenever you have those things in you, you must be successful. It's those things that takes you across to anywhere you are going. So it's a mindset.
Okay, so what you're saying now is supposed for someone to be educated, but without that passion, that person might not attain purpose or
that is purpose. That is it.
Wow.
You must link it with purpose.
Wow.
Purpose will give you a kind of right direction.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's wonderful. So from what you said, sir, you said you made mention of the fact that our curriculum in this country is not really yielding result in terms of you just made it seem like it's theoretically based. So now, let's say you're being made the Minister of Education today. What is that first thing you think can be done about our system of education now that can change what is going on now? Because I think so far we've been able to highlight the problem, but I think we need to move from problem to solution. So let's say you're being made the Minister of Education today in this country. What do you think is the first thing that you're going to, what principle will you enact that can change the system that we already have on ground?
You know what's happening in our system of education is very painful because it's very unfortunate that a pharmaceutical student cannot produce drug.
Yes.
And after his many years in the university, he will end up maybe studying how to sell the drug at Ochanja market.
Yes.
Good and fine. Now, if I'm made a minister of education, all you need to do is to look into the curriculum properly and come up with a practical curriculum, a curriculum that is workable, a feasible curriculum, a curriculum that will be plausible. In other words, if you use that kind of curriculum, definitely you have changed the economy of the country totally and completely. Okay, for instance, you're a Minister of Education and you are making a pharmaceutical students to produce drug. So definitely all these kind of drugs that are imported from India and all whatnot will be cut off. It will be cut off.
Yeah.
So these are ways Africans are having problems. How can you be importing everything, even toothpick? It's quite unfortunate.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
It doesn't give joy at all. So all you need to do is total restructuring of the curriculum.
Wow.
You have to make it skill based.
Okay, that's a wonderful response. So, sir, going back to the foundation, going back to the base, a lot of things have been happening. I'm referring to secondary school now. After GS3, when the child is trying to, or when the learner is trying to transition to SS1, there's something about that particular child making an option whether to go for science, art, or commercial. So there's this thing that is going on between schools and parents recently. Like you see the school system trying to say this child is good in art without even trying to know what that child wants, without knowing whether that child is good in drama, art, or poetry. They just want to force that child because they feel like a lot of persons are doing very well in the science world. So what do you have to say about this issue? We have some parents forcing their learners without trying to know their weakness and their strength. They'll be like, oh, you are good in acting. I want you to go for art. I want you to be an art student. But knowing fully whether that child is good in mathematical functions or arithmetic function, and that child can be an engineer. That child is aspiring to be an engineer or an architect in that science world. What do you have to say about this? Do you think a child's future has to be decided by the parents or by the school authority? What do you have to say about this issue that is going on?
Well, coming to that, a child's future is not supposed to be decided rather by the parents, even by the teachers. Reason being that when you give birth to a child, as the child is going to school, monitor that very child. At a certain point in time, you begin to see where the child is developing abilities. You begin to see where the child has more creativity in. And that is the area you as a parent or even as a teacher will now advise this child that, see, with the way I am looking at you, you will be good at science. With the way I look at you, you are okay in engineering. Based on the things you've been seeing the child doing, because where the interest of the child lies, that is where his ambition and his goal will also be. In other words, you have to monitor these very children, you know, study their abilities from time to time so that you can be able to advise them, okay, the way I look at you, I want you to be a medical doctor. You do show caring and, you know, you have the heart.
So they are supposed to guide the child, not
you guide the child. No, you don't need to force the child. Guide the child. Okay. Yeah, so that by the time you are trying to expose all these things to the child, he will not develop interest. As long as the child develops interest in that particular course of study, he will come out in flying colors.
I think that is actually correlated to what you said, that when passion meets education,
exactly,
there's every tendency that that child will do very well.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, moving forward, looking forward to those persons that, will I say, their future has been bastardized, or would I say it has been affected based on the decision of those teachers in that school setting or their parents. What do you think they should do? Let's say someone has already done masters, the person has already finished, or let's say PhD level, and what the person has started with is not really something that aligns with him or her. What do you think that person that has lost his purpose, or will I say that person that has derailed from what he or she would have been great at, what do you think that person should do at this stage? Do you think it's too late?
Yeah, you know, the person has gone too far.
Okay.
And I did believe that anything you are doing in this very life, you put your ambition into it, you put purpose into it, you know, you focus on it, you must come out successfully. It may not be 100%,
okay,
but at least you might get up to maybe 90 or 95%, okay, which is not bad.
Okay.
In other words, since you've been maybe pushed by parents or teachers or guidance or whatsoever, and you have gotten to this very level, and you still know that this is not where you are being called to, maybe there's no way you can go back. Yes. Going back will be too far from you. All you need to do is to focus. You will learn and you will understand what you are doing. To some extent, yes, because I come to believe that when you are talking about knowledge and education, is something that nobody is being born with. Let me put it that way. That's why psychology will tell you that man is born tabula rasa and things like that. So whenever you develop interest, you begin to learn that very particular thing. Like some people read arts. That does not mean that they shouldn't have done science. Yeah, but now for the fact that they have gone into that very arts, it looks as if they cannot do science. It's a lie. If you move into that very science and begin to learn, you start to acquire the knowledge. That's how it goes. So since it has been like that, all you need to do is to focus, because going back might be too difficult for you. Wow. Yes.
Okay. That's a wonderful response. So thank you guys for following us. Some of the key takeaways we have gotten from today's wonderful session is that it's not too late for you to try to discover your purpose.
Yes.
And parents should try as much as possible to only guide their child and not enforce a particular line of discipline into them. So have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you so much for your time today.
I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.